Hello, everyone. So, today I will teach you how to really make proper and professional graphics and what are the do's and don'ts that you should and shouldn't be doing. Okay? All right. So, I think we're going to start with the graphics just below this one. Give me a second. Okay. So, I want you to look at this graphic. So the way I look at it, the first thing that I notice is that it doesn't highlight what the post is all about. So the first thing that you need to consider is when someone looks at the graphics, they should be able to know what are you trying to say in just one look. So if I have this graphic in front of me and the graphic says privacy moves forward, what's the thought? Is that even the highlight? So, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we reword this in a way that when someone looks at it, they already would have an idea what you're talking about. Okay, so that's the reason why I want you to create the content first before you dive through creating the graphics. So as I look at this one, proactive privacy and trends references. Okay. But this doesn't make sense. When I see this, what's the point? What's the sense of this post? It doesn't give value. When you create contents for graphics, the contents need to have a value. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna reword this first. Reword or remake make this content more valuable that people can actually learn from it. I need it to be more convincing and converting. Always make sure to promote the business said above. Okay, then I'm gonna copy paste this because they already have the content already has the idea. Okay, but what we want to do is we want to expand that idea to be able to get proper highlights. So we want to give better title for this. How 2025 is redefining data privacy in the Philippines. Or you can use this 2025 Data Privacy Roadmap. You can do that. So 2025 moves forward, and black is not even in the client's brand. So when you look at here and you select the branding of the client, black is here. I do apologize, but black, you shouldn't be using black unless it's necessary. Okay, so you want to use black in the font that's not highlighting. Then I want you to look at this one. You have little space here, but you have a lot of space here. This shows unevenness, correct? So what we want to do is we want the image to actually have even margins. This is what we call it, margins. Okay, what's this? See, there's even another icon there. So this is what I want to do. Okay. You also don't want a lot of spaces, and you don't want very little text for subtitles because subtitles are very important. As you can see here, the subtitle is a lot smaller than the body of, you know, the graphics. So here's what we want to do. We want to make it even, so we want to move it a bit. Now, do not do not place text or elements in the outermost part. When creating graphics, you should always leave something for the margin. Okay, so as you can see here, we have margin. As you can see here, we have margin. And I want to change the font. So if I already used this font from before, I will always use that moving forward. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. So what is the better? 220, so 225 data data privacy roadmap. So 2025. So we want to stick with the brand color. So we select this, and then we can use this. Now, just like what I said, stick to the brand color. You don't want to use black if it's not necessary. And then we want to make this just a little bit smaller. Just having it too large is not really giving. So we want to do this. And what you always want to pay attention is the alignment. Okay, so a lot of people I see they're using this justify when writing, but when you do this, the spaces in between the words are really far out. So what you want to do is wanna do this instead. Okay, so what I want is to have the subtitle at least be on the same alignment with the title, not really exactly the same, but just a little bit. And I would probably change this and then switch it over. So 66, 74. So let's try to stick with 70. Okay. Then at least one. Okay. So I also want to give a little bit margin here because it doesn't really make sense if what's the background. Then what we don't want to have is a lot of spaces in the actual post. So we want to make this bigger. Or we can do this. this bigger. There. Now you want to drag this a bit. So now we don't really have too much space. What's this? Okay, there. But as you can see, we still have space at the top, and we don't want that. Don't want spaces at the top. So it's better if we switch it over. I don't know why is this even the design in the first place, but let's do that. I'm not even sure why this image was used. The client is a local client, but we have foreigners. So you can just type data privacy training. So we can use Asian if it's Asian clients. And then, oops, sorry. And then we can probably adjust this a bit. So I'm not the one who created this, by the way. It's created by my staff. So all we just do is make the adjustments for this. Okay. How we want to do is we want to do white. How do we want to do this? Okay, so now that looks a lot better, but remember we lost the margin here, so we might want to expand the image. You use margin to give or to give um, the graphics a room to breathe. Okay, so there you go. So I would always advise that if you create graphics for a business, why not start with a template? I mean, I personally don't advise everyone to start from scratch because a 5 minute job can take as much as 1 hour to 2 hours if you're not using a template. So let's get you another image to actually work on. Okay, so again, let's go back to the content. So reworded content. So I'm just leaving a comment for the staff to see that they did not do something, really good in terms of the content because I had to like work on it and reword this. Okay, so now we have this. So this looks a lot easier to look at. So again, what you want to do is you want to make sure that the logo is in the same alignment. Privacy at the board level. So at the board level, what's that? So again, what we want to do is we want to Reword this to let's say 100 word content. So you can do this. Give me a title. Turning privacy agreements into business advantage. That's a title. See? Why would you put privacy at the board level? What's that? So turning privacy agreement so you can do this. Turn into business advantage. So you want mm, oops. And I think we may want to separate this just to so what I want to also do is try to see if I can make it bigger. So again, you must leave room for margin, but not too much. Then we want to duplicate this and mm, use different color. I can probably try and use like a script, but this isn't the brand, so the brand is not using scripts. So sometimes you can do that. So I don't like the fact that the words are uneven, so I may want to separate this into something like this. Hold on. So turning privacy. So maybe we can do it like this. So you want to make sure that they're actually a little bit aligned. Then or I can also try do this. It's too big. Hmm. And we don't want this. It's too much. And we don't want black. So okay. So I think I know what to do now. So sometimes lesser the better. So business deal. So I would type in business deal. So I'll look for something vertical. There, how about that? I think it's cleaner and it's easier for me to turning privacy limits into business. Okay, then it's too much, so I can try and use this. Okay, now turning business agreement into, or I can try to 50, 40. Turning privacy agreements into business advantage. Hmm, there. So now we want to have an equal margin from side to side. So we can make this a little bit smaller. Okay, so turning business agreements. Okay, and then we'll get some thought here. Actually, this is good as well. Include this in the post. So instead of this as the content, is it content? And then I'd like to make it bigger so it's more visible even if it's quite far. It's not too small. So it's easier to digest. So again, it must be level, same alignment. But I personally don't like to use there. Okay, so this is something cleaner and eye pleasing to see than the other one. Now it's perfect. Okay, now this one, okay, so just like what I said, it's too small. Unlike here, that even if it's far, you can actually read the actual content compared here, right? So you might want to paste the brand again, make it a little bit smaller. We wouldn't change a lot here, so this is good already. So just make sure to have the proper alignment here. I would say just do that. Mm, I don't like what's written, by the way, so let's go just okay. So two big takeaway references. What kind of so revert this into 500 word article. So this time we're gonna make an article out of it. See how this one is a lot cleaner, but we're not going to use that article in this specific post. Okay, so I'm gonna use it for something else, but I'm just gonna get make another for underwood social. Okay, so uh, invite them invite them to read the full article. So what we want to do is we want to create a social media post that links to that article. Oops, sorry. So I'm gonna reword this. Those ones. Oh, sorry, doesn't make this doesn't look like a good content. Okay, so then let's get. But I think this is too long. So once they are properly aligned, I want to make this bigger. and align it. Okay, that's how you do it. Very, very simple. It so what we're doing is we want to like make sure that they have the same margin on oops sorry on the top and below. So there you go. We're done with that. How many more to go? Okay, anyway, so we're done with that. So I think this video already gave you a highlight of what I really want for a specific brand, as how you should be creating the content and you should be creating the graphics. Okay, so let's try and see if I can give you one more example, but on a different brand this time. So let me go ahead and so let's try to see if I can make something for Ryan's. I think I want to make sure. Oh no, I'll go ahead and create one for CTC. Alright, so, okay. If you're going to look at this one, it's not ideal. Why? Because as much as possible, you may want to always have the logo on the top, but if there's like no space, you can put it at the bottom. But yeah, okay. For this one, I'm not sure why you have to use it. So just keep it clean. Sometimes you don't even need to put in a lot of stuff. So again, you want to work on changing the brand kit this time. Book now consultation. What? Book now legal. What's that? So visual idea. Why would you put this? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to like create a content. So we go to the website. So what does the business offer? For a law firm that create a 200 word content for a law firm that gives advices about estate planning in the Philippines. Promote business is the business is could be then want to promote the business to high paying clients in estate planning service. Okay. I forgot. Make it sound professional but natural. Don't sound like an give tips. So then what we want to do is ask them to contact. Okay, so let's go. Don't like to use the word comprehensive, navigating, empowering. Those sounds like AI. So what we want to do is estate planning. So estate planning. Then you want to attach a photo about estate planning. So estate plan is more okay. Is more than just a will. Okay, and then you want to move back here. Then you can put it here. Same size. Okay. So you still want to retain margin here. And then I may want to I don't like it much. Okay, so it's about estate. Um, okay, all right. So you want you may want to use this as content worded. Okay, all right. Now you have this. So do you now see the difference of what we can do? You can even try to use this if you want. Yeah, I think that's more professional than the other one. Okay, alright. Alright, so thank you so much for watching till the end of the video. So I hope I wouldn't have to teach you guys how to do stuff again because it's a waste of time, to be honest. And what we want to do is we want to teach you so you can be better in the future in creating graphics and contents that aligns. All right? Okay. All right. Have a nice day, everyone. Thank you.